Well, everyone, tonight is a very special event in TM3 United history. We have been working on this project for quite a number of months, and the gentleman who I'm going to introduce you to, I was personally introduced to him, 14 years ago or so, as I was running another company. We really wanted to come out with some incredible products, and ultimately that led us to Mr. Rich Scheckenback, who has developed and formulated some of the top products in this industry and other industries. And I reached out to Rich just not that long ago, and he and I became close friends. I will tell you, I used to go into some pretty heavy meetings, I will say, with other experts and other formulators as we'd have questions. And of course, if Rich was by my side, I never had fear of if we were going to have the answer and if we had the correct answer. And I will tell you, at the end of every single one of those meetings, without fail, those individuals who either had questions or, I'll say challenges to some of the things, left knowing better information and agreed with Rich, he is correct. And I will tell you, when you're running a company, you want those individuals who have the integrity and the fortitude to stand up, give truth in a way that people can understand, that people can move forward with, and then share that truth as well. I want to share just a little bit of background on Rich because it is so impressive. Rich received his baccalaureate degree from the University of California, Los Angeles. To everyone else, that's UCLA, one of the top schools in the entire country. And he graduated with his degree in bacteriology, and it included biochemistry, physiology, comparative and molecular genetics, virology, immunology, zoology, and medical microbiology. Isn't that incredible? And of course, he graduated top of the class, with a high GPA, etc. During there, he received many grants to go through and actually do studies. After graduating from UCLA, he ultimately got his doctorate in microbiology and biochemistry from Oregon State University in Corvallis. Also, while there, he helped teach, he helped conduct things, and he joined the dietary supplement industry clear back in 1978, 46 years ago. Shortly after that, obtaining some high positions with companies, he started his own consulting company. Through that time, in the last 46 years, it is documented that he has helped and or answered questions for 150 plus companies. Imagine the knowledge that Rich has. I'm going to throw this in here right now because the knowledge that he is bringing to TM3 United is a culmination of all of those years, all of that expertise. And in his words, Darren, this is it. This is my swan song with the products. I want, this company to have the best. He wants to be a part of what we are doing here. And I am just so excited about that, because when you start thinking about someone with the integrity that Rich has and the knowledge that we have, and even right now, I'm looking across the board and I see Jason Johns, who's an expert in exercise and coaching. And I was on a call, blessed, as Amy and Rich talked about certain things in the product, and just to be, quote, a fly on the wall, listening back and forth. This expertise, and each of the questions that were asked were answered. They've discussed it, they went through, and then agreements were made. And it was incredible to me to just see the amount of knowledge that Rich has going forward. He has received numerous awards. He's been on, just about everything that you can imagine. He's a guest lecturer at the University of Oregon, which is the competitor to Oregon State, I will say. He doesn't keep his knowledge. He's open to everybody that asks, which I love. He's been consultant in the industry. He's also been on the Dr. Oz show as a special guest lecturer and expert. And he's research and development. He's got different grants that he's worked through. I know, Rich, that there's more than this, but I saw 12 publications, you all, in major publications that have his name on it to go through. Those just don't happen. People are, they go through, they make sure the science is there. They make sure that everything is in check. And Rich has done that. Rich, it's our complete honor and pleasure to have you come on and discuss these three products that you are bringing to TM3 United, a way that's going to bless people's lives. Y'all, when this company was started, we made a commitment to each one of you that we would only bring the best to you. We will always chase the best. And these three products that we have in this company are second to none. All of the other products that Rich has done has led up to this point, but now they fall down a little bit because you're getting the very best of the best. And Rich, I'm going to turn the call over to you to discuss.
Well, thank you very much for that, Darren. And I have to say right up front, you know, when I get an introduction like that, I don't know how I can live up to the words, you know, so it makes me a little uncomfortable here. So if I flounder, please, all of you guys, give me some support, okay?
Well, Rich, let me jump in and just say to everybody, that's the reason you are who you are. A gentleman of this caliber has the humility of this, you all. This is what faith first, others second, and I am third is all about. And Rich, you live that. You've always shown that. And again, so honored to have you.
Well, it's an honor to be with TM3 United. And, you know, I've met some of you folks before, know some of you very well. It's a privilege to be able to work with you. As Darren said, this is kind of a swan song for me. I get a little prodding from my wife all the time who says, isn't it about time to retire? And, you know, if I didn't love what I did so much, that could have happened a while back. But I love this industry. I love the people who come to it because they're looking for something special in their lives. And they are the embodiment of what we should all strive to be, which is, you know, looking to be the best that we can be in all regards. And, you know, I thank God every day that I got to be a part of this industry, that I've met people like Darren Hogue and Colby Green, who, you know, are just, they become great friends, like Darren said. And to be asked to let this be part of my contribution, if you will, to what this industry has been, because I go back, as Darren said, 46 years now. I go back to the dark ages of dietary supplements. And I was very fortunate to have a family who believed in eating well, exercising well. I'd love to tell you a story sometime, Jason, especially you, because when I tell you about my 82-year-old dad doing one-arm pull-ups, you know, he blew my mind. But, you know, they ate right. They were taking dietary supplement, eating healthy foods back in the early 50s. And I got to be a product of that. So it led me to this place today, to this place that I love being. And, you know, this, as my swan song, if you will, I told Darren, I'm not taking on any more clients. This is the end. If it weren't you, I would say no. So for what that's worth, and it's worth a lot to me. For what that's worth, though, I'm here for you guys too. So I look forward to spending time with you, learning about your health challenges, your health goals, your business goals, and all that. My very first job in the industry was with an MLM company, and it's something that you know, I appreciated how important people are in communicating the science, the word that's out there that'll help people be on the right track. So that all said, let's talk about the new products, because I'm very excited about them. These are really the culmination of sports nutrition that I've been doing since day one in the industry. I've stolen information from so many scientists all over the place who have done incredible research, and I've been very fortunate to work with geniuses in that regard. Dr. Nikolai Volkov, who is the father of sports biochemistry, um, and his associate, Dr. Vladimir Aleynikov. These are people who are just pioneers in the field of sports nutrition, nutrition in general. I've worked with Dr. Bernard Jensen, with the very first company that I worked in, you know, one of the pioneers from the 1930s who really made things happen to bring nutrition to the masses. So I've been extremely privileged, and this is the end result, what we're going to talk about right now. And while we're calling this a sports fitness line, these products are utilizable by everyone for general good health, for increased energy, higher levels of performance, mental, physical, across the board. Everyone is looking for something that is going to take them to that next level up. And this line works in that way. With that said, let's start with pre-workout as a jumping off place, because it's it's what we do before a workout, and we have two great flavors. I don't know how much you guys know about these things yet. If I'm divulging anything that I shouldn't, Darren.
Have at it, Rich. You
All
divulge
right.
it all. Have at it. I love it.
So we have two great flavors for the pre-workout. We have pineapple passion fruit, which is absolutely my favorite. It's a wonderful. Look at this. Wonderful flavor. Raspberry lemonade is another flavor in that line. Oh my gosh, Amy's got that too. um, the pre-workout is formulated to basically prepare the body and the brain for physical activity. And why is the brain important for physical activity? Because we tire out emotionally and mentally before we do physically. So we want to power the brain to help get us through that physical process of exercise, workout, performance. And the product is formulated with the ingredients that are going to fill both those needs, the mental and the physical needs. So we prepare the brain and body for rigorous activity through the generous supply of ergogenic compounds, select amino acids, and other essential nutrients that sustain and bolster a physically exerted body. What does that mean? We get oxygen to where it needs to be in the body, and that's basically to every cell, because we have energy production in the form of ATP that's made through the three major energy pathways that culminates in the electron transport system, where ATP is made in huge amounts. And so we have formulated in this product a means of bringing more oxygen into the body, enabling the delivery of that oxygen throughout the body more efficiently, more effectively, through vasodilation of the arteries, which allows the red blood cells, allows the blood to flow more freely throughout the body. Included in the ergogenic compounds, we have L-glutamine, which acts as a brain nutrient for energy production, pardon me. Caffeine from green coffee bean. We have branched chain amino acids. Why branched chain amino acids? They are a source of energy. They are a pool in the muscles to produce energy, along with glucose and glycogen. When the muscle starts running low on glucose and glycogen, they start burning branched chain amino acids. That pool of branched chain amino acids starts falling to a low level. The muscle starts eating itself. A catabolic process that basically uses the amino acids in muscle tissue. So muscle tissue gets destroyed during activity, but then in that healing process, those amino acids are replenished. We minimize the amount of degradation of the muscle tissue that occurs by having that pool of branched chain amino acids constantly topped up in pre-workout. We have L-arginine and L-citrulline. Those act basically as vasodilators, opening up the blood vessels to allow oxygen to flow throughout the body in larger quantities. That's through the production of nitric oxide. We also have creatine in there. So creatine is a super high energy compound that's in muscle. We top off those levels in the muscle with pre-workout and enable that muscle just to burst with every kind of form of energy that we can possibly get from it. We incorporate physiologically appropriate amounts of these nutrient compounds. So you will see a lot of formulas that have a lot more of this or a lot more of that, or say that this isn't sufficient, but this is a very synergistic formula. And when you look at all the ingredients put together, these are very, very physiologically appropriate and very significant amounts. And, you know, there'll always be someone who'll say, I want a little bit more. Hey, feel free to take 2 servings at one time. It's not going to do you any harm. So the amounts we know are verified by not only scientific studies, but by real life performance studies. And that's where it's great to work with the strength and conditioning coaches. I've had the privilege of working with NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NASCAR, Olympic athletes across the board, and working with the coaches who know what their athletes are capable of and can see a difference when they're taking dietary supplements, ergogenic compounds, and in the amounts that we have in this formula, they see that difference and they say, you know, these are finely tuned athletes, and yet we're pushing them yet another level higher. We through the use of the pre-workout, we're going to help prevent post-activity soreness, cramping, and exhaustion because we're getting more of that oxygen in. We're getting less of that lactic acid buildup because we have beta-alanine in there, which is a precursor, a building block, if you will, to carnosine, which is the buffer in the muscle that prevents lactic acid from doing its harm. We also have the caffeine and creatine in there, which is also preventing that cramping and exhaustion. Sequential carbohydrate profile with glucose polymers and isomaltulose. Trade name is platinose, an incredibly slow metabolizing source of glucose that enables us to keep a high level of energy production and a high level of production of ATP, and thus greater ability to continue in activity, mental and physical. It's a real quick and easy preparation. It's in one product, all of these nutrients in one product. It's not taking scoops of this and that and mixing them together. You take a scoop of the pre-workout, mix it up, consume it within 15 minutes of your activity, and you're good to go. And like all 3 of these formulas, this is an all-natural formula. No artificial colors, flavors, stabilizers, sweeteners, preservatives, nothing artificial of any sort in these formulas. Once we're up and working out, we need to remain hydrated, and that's where the hydration formula comes in. Tangerine orange and mango lime. Thank you very much, Amy. You are the Vanna White of nutritional supplements. Um, the the concept of keeping fluids topped up um, is so important, and the administration of not only fluids but electrolytes, which get lost during activity, is so important to keeping energy levels high and keeping the whole physiological process of the body working. Um, you have sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc, which get lost in uh, metabolic processes and perspiration, respiration, and you need to replenish those because those are critical to, in the case of magnesium, so many things, but especially energy production. Um, with potassium and sodium, you have that balance of fluids which maintain the balance of pH throughout the body, the nerve transmission dependent upon that, the uh, ridding of waste products. Important to have the sodium and potassium in the kidneys that are going to push those waste products out of the body. So you need the fluids, you need the electrolytes. We don't depend on just an osmotic absorption of this product. We also work with the body to um, pump in the fluid, pump in the electrolytes through active transport. I'm sorry. Excuse my little slips. It's a 73-year-old mind. Um, to have the active transport means that those fluids are pumped into the system. They're not just flowing in against a gradient, they're forced in against a gradient so that you get fast gastric emptying. You get that fluid out of the stomach into the bloodstream to the tissues where it's needed. And the faster it gets there, the more efficient and the better it will be for your performance and for your general physiology. Um, again, we use glucose and glucose polymers so that we have that sequential flow of energy that's being constantly topped up as it's being consumed by the body. We provide a spectrum of trace minerals and ultra trace minerals, which comes from shilajit in the formula, vitamins, amino acids, and metabolic cofactors, which are all instrumental in making the energy producing pathways of the body function at top level. We help maintain good hydration in the bloodstream, organs, and skin, as well as the digestive tract and the lungs, which gives us a healthy inside and out to the body. A lot of people don't think of the digestive tract as being outside the body or the lungs as being outside the body. Certainly we know the skin is, but so are the lungs and the digestive tract because those linings are open to the outside and they need the fluids, they need the protection of the antioxidant activity, and they need the nutrients that make all of the tissues produce the biochemicals that are necessary for their health. This is a drink that is important to use to stay hydrated during activity, but it's one that can also be used as a substitute for lesser healthy, healthful beverages like soft drinks and sugar-laden drinks. It's a great sipping drink for when the temperatures start rising and again, keeping that hydration level high. We recommend that people drink at least 64 ounces of fluid a day, more for if you're very active. Drink water, but drink hydration as well, because that is going to force in the fluids. It's going to force in those electrolytes that need to be replenished. Lastly, we have and I shouldn't say lastly, because this product line will probably have an addition or two as time goes on. No surprises there, I'm sure, for anyone. And again, if I'm divulging something that I shouldn't, I've been given permission, I believe. Um, but energy is a product like hydration. It can be used by anyone at any time. It's not just for performance, but it can be used once that pre-workout is starting to wind down a little bit in terms of the activity in the body, and you need that little extra boost to keep going in that game or that marathon or that hike in the mountains or whatever activity you're doing, to get that stamina, to get that additional boost. The energy product will be a tremendous addition. Waking up in the morning, instead of grabbing a cup of coffee, start with a nutritious drink. And this is nutritious. It'll get you going much better than coffee. It's not like your typical energy drinks that you get in the cans and bottles in the store, that give you that real peak of energy and then that equally steep letdown in energy. This is formulated to provide a very smooth 5 to 6 hours of heightened energy, heightened mental and physical acuity. Energy is ATP. ATP is the result of taking nutrients and running them through the three main energy producing pathways in the body. And that is glycolysis, the Krebs cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle, and electron transport system or the electron transport chain. Each of those cycles, those systems in the body, are nourished by the ingredients in energy. So we get that consistent elevation of mental and physical energy for peak performance. We feed those three major pathways. We provide the branched chain amino acids, just like we do in pre-workout, to keep topping up those levels so that we're feeding muscles, we're feeding the energetics of the muscle system, and also protecting the muscle from degradation, as I discussed earlier. We have a sequenced array of carbohydrates, again, with glucose, fructose, and glucose polymers, so that those contribute to those energy cycle pathways on an ongoing basis, so you don't get that letdown. And we enhance the mental vigor, clarity, and focus with brain nutrients and natural nootropics, and that includes L-glutamine, which crosses the blood-brain barrier and acts as an energizer for the brain. Tyrosine, same thing, a precursor for the neurotransmitters that fire us up the neuromuscular system. L-theanine, which in combination with caffeine boosts mental energy and supports actually higher IQs. So this is a way of maintaining stamina for longer periods of time throughout the day, getting your day started, and then getting your activity to move beyond the point where you feel like you're starting to hit the wall. It has an antioxidant profile, which also protects tissues from free radical damage, which is the result of what happens when you produce more energy and when you exercise. Exercise is great for you. Exercise damages the body. We need to address both those things at the same time, and we've done that through this formulation. So that's the basic overview. I know it's a little scientific-y, if you will, but I want you to know that that is the basis for these formulas. This isn't any ingredient of the day type of formulation. This is scientifically based, validated by good, solid research studies that have gone on over the past several decades, and it's incorporated into these products so that they are the best in the marketplace.